Hello, 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 and welcome to the GFI Healthcare Podcast. I am your humble host, Sahi Fogwe. I call myself the Health and Wealth Queen. I know some people have laughed at that title, but it's coming to life now with this healthcare division that we have in GFI. And I am very humbled and privileged to be the host of this show. And, we've had a couple of shows in the past few weeks. I know we skipped a couple of weeks because of logistics, but, the show must go on when we can. And we will try to be consistent with this because consistency is the name of the game. Consistency, persistency, just so we can bring this information to you, our healthcare providers, our healthcare professionals, our healthcare community, our healthcare family, our healthcare, friends, whatever you want to call this group of people, very special people and very special to my heart, coming from the background of being a nurse, being a nurse practitioner. And, this is a very special group of people to me. And that brings us to why our topic for the next few weeks will be the transition from healthcare to wealthcare. The last episode, we talked about what wealthcare was. We tried to break it down a little bit so people can understand why is there a buzz about wealthcare? Why are we talking about wealthcare? What is wealthcare? And that's why we broke it down. But now we want to actually move into talking about the transition. And today it's just going to be an introduction to the transition. Next week we will have a panel discussion. It'll be more fun because I know guys don't want to hear my voice all the time and just listen to me alone. You want to hear from experts. You want to hear from different people. You want to hear from people with different backgrounds and specialties. That way, each person can relate to someone at least on that panel. So again, my background is nurse, obviously, and now a family nurse practitioner who is in the process of transitioning from healthcare to wealthcare. The question is, why would anyone even think about transitioning from healthcare to wealthcare? Why would you want to transition? That's a very important question because we can't be talking about something when we don't even have the benefits or what it is that people will get out of that transition. And what is it transitioning from healthcare to wealthcare? As a healthcare professional, you go in every day, you know that you have a patient load that you have to take care of, no matter what your setting is, whether you're in a nursing home or a hospital setting, a clinic setting, home health, hospice, name it, whatever setting you're in, you have a load of patients that you have to see. And each patient is an individual. You don't treat all, I'm sure you don't treat all your patients the same. Yes, the standard is there, the procedure is there, the processes are there that you use across the board. You have the guidelines for your vital signs and everything. But when you go in to see that one patient, each patient's diagnosis is different. Even if two people have the same diagnosis, two of them react differently to the diagnosis. Their side effects to medications is different. Their reaction to each medication is different. They heal differently from maybe a similar illness. They'll heal differently. And that's the same thing in the wealthcare environment. But before you get into that, you have to assess each person separately. So when you're bringing those skills from the healthcare industry to the wealthcare industry, you're not changing too much because you already know how to assess people. You already know how to diagnose people. You already know how to actually look at each person as an individual. You're just transferring it from the clinical setting to the financial space. And you might need to just learn a few tricks and trades, few things here and there, that will help you with that transition. So that transition basically is not taking away from what you know is just adding on to it. And the transition doesn't necessarily mean that you have to leave what you're doing, because I've had a lot of people look at me like, why are you even in this space? Why are you talking about this? But my case is unique. I came from the world of accounting, then went into the medical field, and then back into the financial space. So I've been around the financial space before. But we're talking about people who are transitioning from healthcare. All they know, all their life has been healthcare. They Some people started as a CNA, then became a nurse, then became a nurse practitioner, or a tech, became, went to med school, residency, all that stuff, and then became, a physician, or started as a pharmacy tech, then went to pharmacy school, became a pharmacist, or started wherever, became a social worker, became a physical therapist, occupational therapist, speech therapist, whatever your specialty is, whether you're an allied healthcare worker or you're a nurse or you're a physician or a pharmacist, all of this applies to all of us in that space, because it's easy for me to relate to nurses. So if you hear me use examples relating to nurses, that's because that's what I know, right? And those are the people that I know I can talk to. And so when you're in that transition, you're thinking about, what am I bringing to the table? What do I already know? You know how to assess people, you know how to advocate for your patients, you know how to educate, because the big part about wealth care or financial literacy is the education. That's what is special to my heart, is the education piece, is the fact that I get to sit down with a client, see what they need, and then educate them and customize a plan for them. So that part for me is helping me with the transition from healthcare to wealth care, because I already know how to educate patients. I know how to talk about lifestyle modifications. I know how to sit down with them and assess what they need and actually customize what a plan for them, so that it's special to that person alone. So transitioning over to the financial space, to wealth care, it's not too much. It's just adding on to what I know, but I just have to learn a little things, a little thing here and there to add on to that baseline knowledge that I already have, in order for me to be successful in the wealth care space. So transitioning just needs some mentorship. It needs some training. It needs you to be very open-minded, coachable. It needs you to be able to leverage the existing knowledge that you already have. You just have to diversify your skills a little bit. And what do I mean by diversifying? You're diversifying your skills outside of the clinical setting, and just, helping clients now with financial matters. And for those who want to transition only by knowledge, that's also a possibility. We're not saying that everybody has to do what I do. Not everybody has to do what people in the financial literacy space, what they do, but you can also have this knowledge for yourself. Because what is the sense of it? We're working hard as healthcare professionals to earn a living, to put food on the table, earn money to put food on the table, pay bills. Some of us do think beyond that, and think about retirement. But the question is that salary enough to take us where we want to get to? So when we're talking about transition, we're also talking about transitioning our mindset, transitioning it from a healthcare professional to a wealth care professional, in the sense that now you're thinking differently. You're thinking about budgeting. You're thinking about, how do I make my dollars stretch a little bit further beyond the bedside, beyond those bills, beyond today, beyond next week, beyond next month, beyond next year, so that I'm working hard right now. I have my two hands, I have my two legs. I'm able to get up and go and assess patients. I'm able to go see patients. I'm able to help people right now. But what happens when I'm not able to perform those skills? What happens when my skills are separated from my income? What then? But if you have the knowledge, the financial knowledge that we're trying to provide here for people to understand that if something happens to my skills and they're separated from my income, because those two are entwined, they are linked together. If something were to separate those two, will I still be able to earn an income from somewhere? Will I still be able to have money coming in that I can use to provide for my family? If you're that breadwinner, if you're that person that in your family that everyone looks up to, and your skills and your income are separated, will you still have income coming in? How far would that your savings take you? How far would the money under your mattress, the money in a container, the money that you have in a piggy bank, how far would that take you? So when we're talking about transitioning from healthcare to wealthcare, yes, we do want a lot of boots on the ground. We want a lot of healthcare workers coming into this space and doing what we do. But if you're that one person who is not willing or you're not ready yet to transition over, how about you change your mindset a little bit in the way you're investing your money, in the way you're putting money aside, in the way you're growing your money. And not only that, you're also learning how to preserve it, because people know how to make money. People know how to go out and grind 9 to 5, 3 to 10, 10 to 3 a.m., 7 to 10, whatever your shift is. If you're working the 8-hour shifts, the 12-hour shifts, the 10-hour shifts, the 16-hour shifts, some people work back to back every day for 7 days. We know how to make money as healthcare professionals. So I'm not talking to a group of people who do not know how to earn a living. I'm not talking to a group of people who do not know how to earn 6 figures. Some, some a little bit beyond that. I'm talking to people who are high net worth people. You know how to earn a living, but the question is, do you know how to grow that money? Do you know how to preserve that money that you've made? Or do you turn around and give it all to Uncle Sam? Because if you're doing that, it means you're working for Uncle Sam. You're not keeping a lot of your money, you're giving it away. But in the wealthcare space, you could still do what you do, go out, help patients, because that's our heart, right? Helping. Do that, earn your living, but spend a little bit of time in this space during this transition, mindset transition, physical transition, transition of our skills. How about you spend a little bit of time, get a mentor, get a trainer, somebody who's going to help you in that process as you're transitioning. Because coming from one healthcare professional to another, there will come a time when you do not want to get up in the morning to go see that patient. There will come a time when your body will not let you because of health conditions, because it's just tired, because of age, because of whatever it is. A lot of these things work against us. But when that time comes, do you want to now go back and learn a new skill? Or do you want to transition right now while you're still active, while you're still vibrant, while you're still doing what you love to do, but spend a little bit of time transitioning your mind into another space and learning from other people who have been successful in this space, who came from where you are right now, and they spent a little bit of time getting a mentor, getting trained in to think about how they can do better financially, do even better. You're already doing well, but how about you do a little bit better by changing a few things in your lifestyle, in your financial lifestyle. Let me put it that way. We sit with our patients every day. We educate them. We educate them about how to, to budget enough for them to afford their medications, for them to afford their medical bills, for them to afford that urgent care visit or the emergency room visit. We help them spread out all these things and counsel them medically. You can do the same thing when you sit down with a client. When you sit down and assess your client's situation, their financial situation, you do a personal financial review for a client. You can transfer those skills into this space and still bring those skills that you have, transition them over, and just tweak a few things here and there. Learn a little bit about this industry, learn a little bit about providers in this space, and also earn an additional income on the side. That's what the transition from healthcare to wealthcare will do for you. What are the different transition models, the different things that you can do in this space? And everyone doesn't have to do the same thing. Some people want to go all the way and transition full time. I'm still in that transition. I'm still, in the healthcare space while I'm doing my slow transition to the wealthcare space. And the reason is because everyone's situation is different. Everyone has a different dynamic in their home. Everybody has a different support system. Everybody has a different partnership that they have that will help them get in there. So I'm one of those who is still doing what I love to do in the healthcare space, maximizing it to the fullest, but at the same time, paying a little bit of attention in the wealthcare space because I want to learn more. I want to be better. I want my financial situation to be better. I do not want to be filling out applications at age 60 because I need to go back to work because the retirement plan I had in place did not work. I want to be able to know that I've put a financial plan in place that is solid, that is sustainable, that is also going to leave a legacy for generations to come. I want to be able to create something where my name will be remembered, through the generations. My kids will remember me. My great grandkids will have my picture up on the wall somewhere because their great grandma, their great grandma did something for the family or changed the dynamic of the family, changed the trajectory of the family. That's what I want to do. And that's why I'm paying a little bit of attention in the wealthcare space. So if you are a healthcare professional and you're watching this video or you're listening to it on Spotify as you drive to work, I want you to be intentional. I'm not trying to pull you away from the bedside. No, you can do what you need to do because not everybody has to leave that bedside because patients will get sick no matter what our economy is going through, no matter what is happening in the world. People will still get sick. They will need a provider. So while you're helping out that patient, just make sure that you're also doing an assessment on your finances. Do a wellness check, just like you do your annual wellness check for yourself, your physical. Do the same for your finances. Do you have enough emergency funds set aside? Do you have a good protection plan in place? Do you have life insurance to cover your family? Do you have a retirement plan in place? The funds that you're making, are they tax savings involved? Do you have, tax advantages, that you're taking, you're benefiting from? Do you even know what they are? Do you have protection for your assets? And when I say protection, do you have a living will and trust that's protecting your assets to make sure that if something were to happen, your family will be protected. Your family gets a benefit first. If something were to happen, you're not letting your estate go to the state, to the government or whatever. You're making sure that your family keeps that. All these things that I'm enumerating, you would get to understand them better. You get to be trained on them better if you just pay attention to the healthcare to wealthcare transition. And the transition, again, I want to stress that it doesn't have to be a full transition. It can be partial. but pay some attention over here, get trained, get mentored, and just listen a little bit to the coaches that will be put in place for you. That way you can make sure that while you're working actively, you're doing what you need to do at the bedside as a healthcare professional. You're also making sure that your finances are doing well. You have a good wellness plan for your finances. They're not on life support. We're not having to do CPR to your finances. As a matter of fact, they should be thriving. They should be living well. Their vital signs should be good. They should be within normal range, or on the higher side of it, you should be doing thriving. Your finances should be thriving, and that's what we want in this space. And that's what this group of people in this healthcare division are all about: to support each other, hold each other's hand, create an environment where you will feel secure, you will feel safe, you will not be judged because you're not doing well. You will actually have people supporting, rooting for you to make sure that you're successful. And that's what we do. We want to make sure. And how about you're in the same space with people who can understand your language? When we talk about a community, it's not only the same color, it's not only the same ethnicity, it's not only the same gender. We're talking about a community of healthcare professionals. That's our community. And I'm so happy that we're creating a community like this so that healthcare workers, or healthcare professionals can come into this environment, get trained, get onboarded, get mentored. Remember the days you were precepted by somebody at the bedside. The same thing here. You have a preceptor in the name of a coach or a mentor who will hold your hand and make sure that they take you through the reins. There's no competition here. This environment is set up so that you can thrive. You can do so well that you could even do better than your coach, do better than your mentor. So there's no, like I said, no competition. It's not a matter of a manager not wanting to train you because they don't want you to take their job. That's not the case here. It's a matter of helping you grow, growing you into a leader, making sure that you do very well, because when you do well, your leader looks good as well. It's not a matter of them pressing you down to make sure that you don't ever come up to their level because you're going to take over. No, we're not about that. We're making sure that everybody's doing well. Our community is thriving. Our healthcare professionals are doing well. You're moving from a 6-figure to a 7-figure to a possibility of an 8-figure income. And you could stay at the bedside. If you want to do all this and still be at the bedside because you love it so much, you could do it. You can do it. There's an opportunity for everybody in this space. So I do want to thank everybody who tuned in today, or who's watching this video, or who's sharing the video, who's inviting people to like our new YouTube channel for the GFI Healthcare Division. Like the channel. Also subscribe to the Spotify, where it will be the same information, but just in audio, so you can listen on the go if you don't want to see my face. So I want to thank all of you who tuned in. We'll try to keep them short and sweet. When we have a panel discussion, obviously, it might be a little bit longer, but it will be interesting because you're hearing from different people, different views, different opinions. But the information is still solid. It's it's across the board, just coming from people with different specialties, so you can relate to them. And so I'm going to put up the flyer for next week. So we have a panel next week that will be talking. It'll be a second episode on this topic, and it's going to be a panel of a retired nurse, a pharmacist, and a physician, and then you have me as your humble host. So until next time, I want to thank all of you who joined today. Just keep sharing the channel, keep liking it, keep being engaged, joining in, and we'll try to keep you informed and make this fun so that we can keep this this channel going and just keep sharing some valuable information and nuggets here and there. So until next time, take care and stay blessed.